In case there was any doubt as to who I am, I wear my heart and my name on my man sleeves. I am Z-Dog, with apparently one G because Tom Heineber is barely literate. Do we have audio? Do we have a show?
We got audio. What's going on?
Guys, welcome to the Friday edition of Against Medical Advice. Today,
I like your hat.
Of course you do. You created it for me.
Looks good.
Tom is my wardrobe, makeup, producer, and manservant all in, and wearing the merch.
Oh, check out the merch.
That's
y'all.
right.
What's up?
People were
If
like,
you were wondering why Tom and T-Bones is on the show today, it's to shill the merch.
it's to shill the merch. Why are we shilling the merch? Because it's almost Christmas and we want people to buy the merch. Do you know why? And people are like, oh my God, Z-Dog, a t-shirt for $39. GTFO. And I'm like, you GTFO. The reason
that means get the funds out.
Get the funds out.
Let's buy that shirt.
The reason you want to get the funds out and buy that shirt in time for Christmas is, first of all, it costs a lot of money to make shirts because we use Shopify and Printful, which costs money. Second of all, we need to make money on the shirts so we can put it in the video slush fund that we're going to use to make videos in 2018. You want to hear ventilate for RTs. You want to hear rehab for PTOTs. You want to see all that ish. Jayco Confessional Part 2. The med emojis? Who paid for that? Not Tom Heineber. He's broke. Not Logan Stewart. Oh, that's a nice fire, Logan.
Thank you.
It's
I'm enjoying it. It's quite warm, Z-Dog.
That would be the electrons coming off that display. Shouldn't be that way. Probably gonna die. Anyways, today we want to talk about why I'm wearing this ridiculous hat. Because I am taking the theater, what is it called?
Theater Cap Challenge.
Theater Cap Challenge.
Theater Cap
but it's
Challenge.
Theatra with an R-E because this is the British spelling,
The
because
European version.
we have an article that we linked to today that is based on a doc in Sydney, Australia, hence the Theatra Cap Challenge, because everything's backwards there. It's all upside down. The toilets flush into a black hole.
Nobody knows what goes on.
No one knows, but it's cyclonic. Coworkers laugh at doctor for writing his name on cap, but it actually helps saves. What are you doing in my face?
You move too much.
So anyway, the coworkers were like, this guy
Stop wearing
showed up
sweaters, Z-Dog.
and just says Rob on his hat, and every one of his coworkers was like, hey Rob, forget your name.
Show us the picture. Look at this. So you're getting your propofol. They're telling you to count down your pre-op for your anal fistula repair, and you see Sandy, nurse, hovering above you. Is that something that you want as a patient? Now, the reason that Rob, the Dr. Rob, decided to alleviate the problem of people not knowing who was taking care of them in the surgical operation field, because everybody looks the same. And the second reason that he did this is because in Australia and also in the US, many surgical personnel and medical personnel go to multiple hospitals and often don't know each other that well. So when they're fully gowned and gloved and masked, you can't tell who you're dealing with. And this has been a problem because sometimes medical students get treated as docs when they're not. We don't know who the OR tech is, we don't know who the nurse is, we don't know who the anesthesiologist is, we don't know who the surgeon is, and we certainly don't know their names. So this could be a patient safety issue, it could be a team issue, there could be a lot of issues that arise from this. So what Dr. Rob said is, well, what if I look like a dork? And yes, Dr. Rob, you look like a freaking dork, okay? Not like me. I'm dope. But Dr. Rob looks like a dork with his surgical hat and says, Rob, anesthesiologist, right? Well, what if I do that, said Dr. Rob, and then everyone will know who I am, and that would improve patient safety. And people were making fun of him. They're like, don't you know your own name, bro? You have to write it. Like, does your mom write your name on your underwear too? Like, what's up with that? Dr. Rob was like, screw you guys, okay? It's about safety for all the reasons we talked about. Well, he started this thing, hashtag Theater Cap Challenge. In the surgical theater, put your name on the cap. And he went so far as to say, which I thought was really interesting, he told people, here are the reasons you do it, and here's the reasons you wouldn't do it. And the reasons you would do it is introduce an obvious, simple solution to improve patient care and outcomes.
Duh.
Except it's not been studied.
Duh.
So it could
Need
be
more research.
yet another BS quality thing that doesn't actually improve quality. Do we know the answer yet? Probably not. Does it intuitively feel like it might help? Yes. What are the downsides? We're going to talk about that. Now, he says don't do it, and you demonstrate how healthcare institutions frameworks and culture are resistant to change and improvements. Now this I agree with, because healthcare is absolutely resistant to change, quality improvements, et cetera. We've shown this. The quality improvement movement has been around since like 1980 when this Landmark study came out. And you're still pimping Jesus? Is that what you're doing? That's quality right there. You see this guy?
That's right.
That's quality. All right. By the way, you can get my album on iTunes. It's also called Jesus.
This is why Z doesn't actually need to wear one of these caps, because he wears one of these into the OR. Actually, he's not allowed in the OR, so.
Oh, are I not? So, so the quality movement's been around for decades, and yet we've had very slow improvements in actual on-the-ground quality. And that is, again, a function of why healthcare's culture is very resistant to change. So that being said, I want to read, we did a poll earlier on Facebook. We got about 700 responses. About 76% of people said, yeah, I would wear my name on my hat. That's a great idea. 74%. 26%, hell no, I'm a ninja. I want to stay like a ninja. I don't want people to know. Well, here are some comments from the Z-Pack as to why they feel the way they do. So Leslie Fullerton Passis, she said, I don't really see why you need to do this. Maybe that's because our anesthesiologists sedate the patient here on the unit before we roll them to the OR, and we recover them back here in the unit, so our patients barely ever even see the OR, if at all. But the thing is, a lot of times, even in recovery, you don't know who that person is. Even if you see their face, you don't know who they are, so having their name and what they do might be helpful.
But this is where it confused me, because it's not for patients, right? It has nothing to do with patients. It's for other docs that you're working alongside of. Because when I first saw it, I was like, I don't even know who that guy is that's touching me.
Well,
it can just be a random guy.
This brings me to think, I think it's for both. But if you look at patient input, what the patients are saying on this poll are, Michael Roth, from a patient perspective, number one, without my glasses, it's just going to be a blur. Number two, I'm usually too drugged up to care. So what's amazing is Michael's had enough surgeries that he can use the term usually, which is great. So there's a patient
perspective. I'm usually so high, I don't even know.
Man,
like, whatever.
I'm like on that propofol. I'm making passes at the nurse, if that is the nurse. If it said nurse, it could be a doc, it could be a man. I don't care.
By the way, the propofol is weird, okay? Because the one time I had it, I woke up to myself explaining very elaborate Game of Thrones theories. And I was like, I thought I was supposed to be knocked out. But I'm like the thing is, when they take down the wall, they're coming in, okay? And the dragons are it's gonna be the ice dragons versus the fire dragons. That's how I see it, all right?
Fire, ice, dogs, cats, dragons, people with mild to moderate dwarfism. It's insanity. All right, but that's what propofol will do to you. It's milk of amnesia and also weirdness.
I woke up like mid-stream of consciousness, like as I was saying these things.
Did you?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Were you like Neo from the Matrix? Did you extubate yourself? I just like, whoa. Michelle Helsel says, I honestly think first name and what you are is perfect. It alleviates the hey you and makes everyone seem less intimidating. I tend to agree with this. Now here's one of the downsides.
Yeah.
We talk about Silent No More, we talk about violence against healthcare providers. One of the problems with name badges is that patients can figure out, you still shilling that?
Yeah, sorry.
My boy Jesus over here, he's just keeping it real. Oh yeah. Logan, what are you doing? Bring that live, there it is.
Merch?
You know what? That's my equivalent of telling you who I am. I'm Jesus, all right? Kanye told me I was Jesus.
Merch!
Anyway, so the downside, if you look at the Silent No More stuff, when patients know who you are, they can find you, they can stalk you, especially with your last name. So I think actually first name and what you do is okay. You start throwing last name on there, it gets dangerous.
What if you just had a hospital name? Like, I'll just go by Pete in the hospital. Just like, hey, Pete. And when you're at the hospital, you know you're Pete.
Like, just come up with a fake name, but you have to be able to respond to it. Because here's the thing, if it's for other providers too, you're in a code and they're like, Pete, and you're not doing anything. Yeah. You're like, oh yeah, whatever.
It's like, yo, Shaka Zulu. And you're like, huh?
Yeah. You're like, hey man, this Shaka Zulu ought to be putting some pressure on this wound right now. But I don't know where Shaka is. And you're like, well, and it says Shaka Zulu. Medical student. So you better know what your name is. But yeah, I don't think it matters if it's true as long as you respond to it and it actually says what you do. Because I think the idea is like, then medical students can't lie about who they are, which is important. And they don't want to lie. They will actually want to come off as who they are. They don't want to be asked to do stuff like, open up a chest and start cardiac massage unless people know that you're asking a medical student to do that, right? So I think that's important. What else do we got here for comments? We got Peg Hansen said, I recently had surgery where the anesthesiologist introduced the rest of the team before he put me under. I don't remember any of their names, but I remember the feeling of reassurance as he did that. So again, it's a human thing to know who's about to cut you open or put you to sleep or wake you up if you're a nurse in the PACU, that sort of thing.
Tracy Johnson says, my Starbucks name is Uma. You have a Starbucks name, which is, what was it, Doug?
Yeah, it's Mike.
Mike.
So anytime I go to order anything from Starbucks or pizza or whatever, I'm like, and who's this for? Mike. And then I go to pay and it says Zubin Demanya. And they're like, could I see an ID?
It's for this guy. It's for this guy right here.
Next time it's going to be Zezus. All right. Any other thoughts on the Theater Cap Challenge? Here's my call to action. Z-Pack, with the hashtag TheatraCap Challenge, post images in the comments of you with a cap with your name on it. See if you can step up and transform medical culture and document it for posterity. Because I want to see it. Also, Logan, what's going on behind you?
What?
There was a commercial behind you for a second.
Yeah, see, it was for Top Gun because it's a patriotic movie.
The MIGs are bugging out. On that note, Tom Heineber, should we call the code?
Listen, change in healthcare starts with us, people.
That means nothing to any of us. However, Health 3.0 in the house, that means nothing too to most people.
Also, buy this merch. You know what I'm saying?
Help us make videos in 2018. Go to shop.zdogmd.com.
It's pretty good quality.
We kept this show short AMA so you could share it, hit like, do the Theater Cap Challenge, and we out.
1, 2, 3.
Huh? Oh yeah? What?
Yeah.
What?
What?
Merch!